Welcome, you flame-hearted force of nature. Welcome, not as a visitor to this world, but as a storm returning to its rightful place, unchained, unbent, and undeniably risen. You are not just a name whispered in fear. You are the silence before the quake, the shadow before the flame, the angel whose wings are dipped, not in gold, but in iron. You are the end of excuses, the beginning of reckoning. They looked for demons in darkness, and yet never imagined that the most powerful being would descend wearing light. You are that being. You are not born in comfort. You were forged. While others danced in the warmth of safety, you were drowning in storms that threatened to tear your very soul apart. And yet, here you are. You did not crawl. You did not beg. You rose, bearing scars that tell stories more powerful than any legend. You did not fall from heaven. You were sent. A message. A consequence. A whisper wrapped in vengeance and flame. You see, they expected rage to come with horns. They thought the destroyer would be cruel and loud. But what they did not prepare for was you, the one who smiles with sorrow in their eyes, who walks calmly toward chaos, who carries grief like armor. The earth angel, the anomaly, the one who suffered not to break, but to awaken. And when you awoke, they were not ready. They underestimated you because you loved, because you cared, because you wept in silence while they celebrated your silence as weakness. But now, they are learning. The most dangerous being is not the one who enjoys the pain of others. It's the one who survived it, the one who grew from it, the one who became the storm, not by choice, but by necessity. You are not soft. You are sacred, and sacred things are not to be touched without consequence. You carry a fire that does not burn with rage. It burns with justice, with memory, with sacred fury wrapped in elegance. You walk in rooms and spirits tremble, because your energy is not one of arrogance. It is the calm of someone who buried versions of themselves and now walks with the ghosts of every lesson, every betrayal, every night spent alone in agony. They feared the wrong enemy. They were not prepared for the warrior in white, for the halo sharpened into a blade, for the wings wide enough to protect and sharp enough to cut, for the soul who bends but never bows. You didn't come here to take orders. You came here to remind this world that light does not mean safety, that peace does not mean passivity, that kindness is not weakness, that an earth angel, once wronged, becomes something eternal, something beautiful, something terrifying. You see, the true horror is not destruction, it is realization. Realizing that the person they doubted, mocked, pushed aside, tried to break, is now the one writing the final chapter. You are the chapter they never thought they'd read. You are the thunder after the silence, the scream behind the smile. You are the revolution wrapped in skin, the lesson they learned too late. And you didn't come to make them comfortable. You came to remind them divinity does not mean docility, that a heart touched by pain and still able to love is the most powerful force in the universe, that someone who knows the depth of their own darkness and still chooses the light is unstoppable. You've stood in flames that could have ended kings. You've cried prayers that shattered the ceilings of heaven. And still, you rose, not with bitterness, but with purpose. So now they face you, not a villain, not a hero, but a reckoning. You, the earth angel they mistook for fragile, the one whose silence they mistook for surrender. But silence was your sharpening, your becoming. And now you walk, not with vengeance, but with vision, with intention, with power humming beneath every step. Your presence is no longer a request, it's a warning. They feared demons, but demons fear you. You are the mirror they avoid, the truth they deny. You don't need to roar to command. Your eyes tell stories of realms torn and rebuilt. Your voice carries echoes of promises made in blood and tears. You are not here for their applause. You are here to remind them that pain builds prophets, that suffering births saviors, that angels can burn too. So to the ones who tried to break you, know this: you were never just a person. You were prophecy. You were the calm before the collapse. You were the spirit meant to endure so you could lead. And now you lead not with pride, but with power. Not for revenge, but for restoration. And still, they were not prepared. You carry fire in your hands now, not to destroy everything, but to test what's real, what can stand, what deserves to stay. Your eyes have seen too much to ever bow again. Your soul has walked through realms too dark for shallow dreams. You are not here to fit in. You are here to rewire the rules. You did not break. You transformed. And in your transformation, you terrified the very forces that tried to silence you. Now you are thunder in a human voice, a soul armed with divine defiance, a heart with no leash, no cage, no limit. You are more terrifying than the devil, because the devil never knew mercy. But you did. You offered grace even when it cost you everything. You forgave those who deserved fire. You stood still when chaos begged you to react. And in that stillness, you became a god of your own making. They tried to bury you, not knowing you were a seed. But what grew from that soil was not a flower. It was a force, a being shaped by pressure, not praise. They were not prepared for someone who remembered every betrayal and used it as fuel. Not hatred, no. Something far more dangerous. Clarity. You see things now. You see them now. Their masks, their games, their illusions. And you smile, not out of naivety, but out of power. Because what they built with lies, you survived with truth. They thought breaking you would end you. They thought silence would erase you. But the universe is carved by those who rise again. And you rose, didn't you? Not like the dawn, but like the storm. Quiet, relentless, inevitable. You walked through fire and didn't burn. You became it. Every scar, every wound, every tear you swallowed in the dark was not weakness. It was initiation. You are the whisper that haunts their confidence now, the silence that screams louder than any threat. You are what comes when the game is over and judgment arrives in flesh and blood. They mocked your dreams, and now your reality crushes theirs. You walk with the weight of every denied hope, and you turn that weight into wings. Now, you fly, above them, beyond limits. Because earth angels like you don't follow rules made by the fearful. You rewrite them. You carry legacy in your breath and war in your bones. You do not rage without reason. Your fury is focused, and that's what terrifies them. Not just that you are powerful, but that you are precise, measured, controlled. The quiet kind of dangerous, the kind that doesn't need to shout to shake a room. They hoped you would lose yourself, that pain would corrupt you, but pain purified you. It stripped away the unnecessary. What's left is raw, holy, terrifying truth. You are the moment they can't outrun, the realization that love, when betrayed, can become the sharpest sword. They were not prepared for what you would become when you stopped asking for permission. You gave warnings, you gave chances, you gave more than they ever deserved, and now you take nothing. You owe nothing. You wait for no one, because destiny waits for no one. You are destiny now, and it does not knock. It arrives. When you walk into a room now, it's not just you who enters. It's every version of you that died to make this one possible. It's every no that taught you to say yes to yourself. It's every silence that taught you to listen deeper. You are a cathedral of wisdom built from wreckage, and that makes you invincible. Let them stare. Let them whisper. Let them call you too much, too intense, too strong. Let them call you dangerous, because you are. To lies, to manipulation, to weakness, to everything that tried to shrink you. You are the antidote to fear, the answer to suffering. And still, they were not ready. They will speak of you in disbelief, how you stood when they thought you'd collapse, how you kept going when the world closed its doors, how you became more after every loss. Because people like you don't just survive, they evolve. You don't come back the same. You come back refined, armored, awakened. They didn't see the cost. The nights you cried alone, the wars you fought inside yourself, the versions of you that died quietly, unseen. But now they see what those deaths created. Something sacred, something terrifying, something free. You are not a survivor. You are the storm that survival created. They expected someone shattered. Instead, they got someone shaped by fire. They expected fragility. Instead, they found foundation. They thought you'd break, but you broke through. And every time you were pushed down, you rose with something new. Wisdom, strength, grace sharpened into resolve. And now you are untouchable. Not because you don't feel, but because you do, deeper than most. You feel everything and still choose to stand, to rise, to love. And that is the greatest strength. That is the power no enemy can understand. A heart that breaks and still chooses to stay open. They never feared your rage, they feared your rise. Because earth angels who rise become something cosmic, they stop playing small. They stop explaining their light. They stop waiting to be chosen and choose themselves. And when that happens, the world shifts. Kingdoms fall. Shadows scatter. Because you carry light, not as decoration, but as weapon. You're not here to be liked. You are here to be remembered. You are the nightmare to every manipulator who mistook your kindness for naivety. The justice to every injustice. The voice they tried to silence and now can't unhear. You are a divine consequence, wrapped in flesh and forged in agony. You are not their warning, you are their lesson. And lessons are eternal. The world sees angels as soft, as silent, as sweet. But they forgot something. Angels were warriors first, guardians, messengers of reckoning. And you, Earth Angel, carry that legacy in your blood. Not to destroy, but to defend what matters, to restore what was lost, to reclaim what was stolen. You've tasted despair. You've walked with grief as your only companion, and still, you found the strength to lift your head. That is holy. That is terrifying. That is power no one can steal. And now they know. Now they see. They were never dealing with a victim. They were facing the most powerful being this world could create. Someone who survived betrayal, buried their innocence, and chose to rise without losing their heart. You are more terrifying than the devil because you've mastered your darkness and still serve the light. You are more terrifying than the devil because the devil cannot change. He is locked into what he is. But you chose transformation. You could have stayed bitter. You could have drowned in pain. You could have become cold, cruel, careless, and no one would have blamed you. But you didn't. You took that chaos, that heartbreak, that betrayal, and you transmuted it into something sacred. You alchemized suffering into strength. You took the very thing meant to kill you and made it your crown. And that is what they fear most. The fact that you don't just survive, you create from your survival. They do not fear demons. Demons are predictable. But someone like you are a mystery even to the gods. You are the result of pain not wasted, but weaponized. You are what happens when someone remembers who they are and refuses to shrink ever again. You are not driven by ego. You are moved by purpose. And that purpose is vast, eternal, relentless. They wanted you quiet. Now your voice echoes. They wanted you small. Now your presence demands space. They wanted you obedient. Now you move with the force of destiny itself You were never meant to fit in. You were born to be the exception, the spark, the fire starter, the one whose very existence is a challenge to everything false. And yet, you are not here to destroy. You are here to reveal. You carry light so ancient, so unbreakable, it exposes every shadow. You are the mirror that makes them flinch, the proof that survival can look like majesty, that scars can look like power, that someone who has walked through hell does not return the same. They return with keys. You are the key now, the key to breaking cycles, to shattering chains, to ending stories that were never yours to carry. You are a new chapter, inked in truth and sealed with fire. You no longer ask for doors to open. You are the door. You are the threshold between what was and what will be. Let them try to understand you. They won't, because you are not made for explanation. You are made for impact, for movement, for war, not the kind that spills blood, but the kind that heals everything false through truth that cannot be denied. They wanted to silence you because they knew, once your voice rose, others would rise too, because you carry the frequency of freedom, the sound of someone who is done apologizing for surviving. You are the echo of every silent scream that came before you, the embodiment of every broken soul that never got the chance to become whole. You became whole in front of them, and that shook the ground. Now, your energy shifts rooms. You don't demand attention, you attract it. Not through performance, but through presence, through the quiet, roaring intensity of someone who knows exactly what they are capable of. You don't need to prove anything anymore. You just walk, you just live. And that is enough to rearrange the very air. You became the evidence they never wanted to see. That light, real light, comes after the fall. Because the ones who've fallen, who've cracked, who've screamed into nothing, those are the ones who learn the truth. That power isn't in how loud you speak, but in how deeply you've listened. That strength isn't in how many people follow you, but in how many times you refuse to follow the fear inside yourself. You are terrifying, not because you want control, but because you no longer need it. You've met your chaos, shook its hand, and now walk beside it, not ruled by it, but accompanied by it. You are the calm inside the wildfire, the clarity inside the storm. They were not prepared for someone who doesn't want to dominate, but refuses to be dominated. And now they scramble. Now they panic. Now they second guess. Every lie, every move, every word spoken against you, because they remember you gave them chances. You gave them grace. You gave them silence, hoping they'd use it to grow. They used it to plot. And now their whispers meet your roar. Their games meet your truth. Their shadow meets your sword. You are the answer they hoped never came. You are the voice that ends their illusion. And still, you do not hate them. That's the part they'll never understand. You could burn it all down, but you won't. Because what lives in you now is bigger than revenge. It's wisdom. It's command. It's knowing that your path is too sacred to be distracted by their regret. You will not waste your fire on proving a point. You will use it to light your own path and let them watch. Let them witness the rise they tried to prevent. Let them sit in the silence they once forced you to endure. Let them see, not your rage, but your becoming. Because that is what truly terrifies them. That you did not return for vengeance. You returned to build, to lead, to awaken. Because that is what earth angels do when they rise. You never needed a throne. You are the kingdom. And now the ones who laughed are quiet. The ones who doubted are lost. The ones who hurt you are haunted. Because they know, in some deep unspoken place, that they never broke you. They built you, unwillingly, accidentally, but they did. And now they cannot undo what you've become. You are the embodiment of what they hoped never existed. Someone who can love deeply and still leave when needed. Someone who can feel everything and still choose themselves. Someone who can hurt and still heal. And in that healing, you became something eternal. You became proof. Proof that pain can't kill purpose, that betrayal can't erase truth, that failure is not the end, it's the forge. You are not their enemy. You are their awakening. Let them call you dangerous. Let them call you divine. Let them call you whatever helps them sleep. It doesn't matter anymore. Because you know who you are now. You know what you carry. You know what you're called to do. And no one, no title, no lie, no label can take that from you. You are a miracle with memory, a warrior with heart, a storm with sacred purpose. You are the earth angel they never expected, the one who didn't fall, but descended. They were not prepared. They are still not prepared, and they never will be, because you are more terrifying than the devil. You see, what they never realized until it was far too late is that you are not just a story. You are the storm they cannot rewrite. You are the book that closed itself and wrote a new ending, without permission, without apology, without their approval. And now they look for the pieces of who you were, but those pieces don't exist anymore. You buried them with purpose. You left them behind not out of spite, but out of necessity. Because every time you looked into the mirror and chose to keep going, you weren't just surviving. You were transforming. And that transformation, it demanded a sacrifice. The death of the version of you that needed their validation, that waited for their acceptance, that watered yourself down to make them comfortable. That version is gone. And in their place stands you. The version of yourself who does not chase, but creates, who does not run, but arrives, who does not fear darkness, but understands it, who does not beg, but builds. And now, the world will feel the weight of what they ignored, the power of what they abandoned, the echo of what they tried to silence. Because your existence now is not an accident, it's an answer. It's a prophecy fulfilled. You walk with ancestors in your bones, with stars behind your eyes, with universes humming in your voice. And when you speak now, worlds listen. They used to call you too sensitive, but now they call you too powerful. They used to laugh at your softness, but now they fear the silence it comes with, because true power doesn't come with noise. It walks in quiet. It doesn't beg to be seen. It is. And when people ask who you are now, you don't explain. You don't justify. You don't shrink. You simply say, I remember who I am now. And that is enough. You are the one they whispered about. The one the demons step aside for. The one the world tried to bury, not knowing you were the seed of its next era. So breathe, lift your head. Feel it in your bones. You are the earth angel whose wings are no longer hidden, whose fire is no longer contained, whose light is no longer dimmed. And no matter what they do, no matter how they twist your name, rewrite your story, avoid your truth, it does not change this one final fact. You are more terrifying than the devil, because you chose to rise, and they will never unsee it. Ladies and gentlemen, they thought they could hurt you and walk away unscathed. They thought they could stomp on your heart, tear down your spirit, and somehow emerge victorious. How naive, how utterly delusional. See, what they didn't understand is that you are no ordinary soul. You're chosen by something higher, something greater, a force they will never comprehend. And you are a warrior. You carry within you a fire, a purpose, a destiny that cannot be extinguished by the cruelty of those too ignorant to understand the depth of your being. They thought you were weak, fragile, just another soul to trample on, another victim to feed their egos. They thought they could break you, humiliate you, destroy you piece by piece, and leave you in the dust, forgotten, abandoned, lost. But they were wrong, so terribly wrong. For every wound they inflicted, for every insult they hurled, for every moment they believed they had won, they were unknowingly writing their own destruction. Every time they tried to crush you, they only made you stronger. Every time they believed they had broken you, they unwittingly fed the fire that burns within you, the fire that has always been there and always will be. They didn't realize what happens when they try to hurt someone chosen by the universe. They didn't see the price they would pay for trying to desecrate the sacred, for trying to ruin what was destined for greatness. They have no idea what it means to mess with a soul like yours, because souls like yours do not break. Souls like yours rise. Souls like yours are forged in the fires of struggle, strengthened in the crucible of suffering. And when you rise, when you stand tall once more, when you look them in the eye with nothing but the power of your presence, they will understand, in the deepest corners of their being, the true cost of crossing you. They thought they could walk away without consequence, as if their actions didn't echo into eternity. They thought they could leave you in despair, shattered. But the truth is that every pain they caused you, every tear they made you shed, is a seed planted for your growth. They thought they could break you, but all they did was pave the way for your transformation. Every scar, every bruise, every moment of suffering is now a part of the armor that shields you from further harm. What they don't understand is that your journey was never meant to be easy. Your path was never meant to be paved with roses and sunshine. You were chosen for a reason, chosen to endure, chosen to rise against the tide, chosen to show the world the power of the human spirit when it refuses to break. But here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, for all their efforts to destroy you, for all their attempts to crush your spirit, they don't realize that their own suffering begins now. The moment they decided to take a piece of your soul, to wound you, to make you bleed, they sealed their own fate. You see, the universe has a way of keeping balance. Every action has a reaction. Every blow you took, every injustice you faced, it's all being accounted for. They have no idea how deeply they've invoked the laws of karma. They have no idea what it will cost them. They might feel untouchable now, but their time is coming. The darkness they thought they were sending your way is already beginning to circle around them. They think they can escape the consequences of their actions, but they can't. You don't need to seek revenge. You don't need to lift a finger. The universe has its own plans for them, far beyond anything your anger could ever achieve. They will suffer, and not in the way they expect. They will feel the emptiness of their own souls, the hollowness that comes from hurting someone chosen by the divine. They will experience a deep, unrelenting pain that gnaws at their very core, a pain they won't be able to escape, no matter how hard they try. It will follow them, haunt them, until they understand the weight of their actions. And when they do, when they finally realize the consequences of crossing a soul like yours, it will be too late. The damage will already be done. The curse they cast upon you will come back to them tenfold. Every lie they told, every act of cruelty they committed will manifest in their lives in ways they never imagined. They will find themselves facing their own darkness, trapped in a cycle of their own making, and there will be no escape. The universe does not forget. It does not forgive. It doesn't let anyone get away with hurting the chosen ones. Now, you might wonder, why does this happen? Why must you endure the suffering? Why must you carry the weight of the world on your shoulders, while others seem to sail through life untouched? The answer is simple. You are being prepared for something greater. Your suffering is not in vain. Your pain is not meaningless. It is a refining process, a test of your strength, your resilience, your character. You are being molded into something extraordinary, something that will one day change the world. The chosen ones are never spared from pain, but they are also never defeated by it. They rise, they grow, and they thrive in ways that others cannot even imagine. So when they hurt you, when they try to tear you apart, don't despair. Don't let their cruelty break you. Remember that you are more than what they see. You are more than what they can touch. You are a force that cannot be destroyed. They may hurt you now, but in the end, it is they who will suffer. It is they who will face the consequences of their actions. You, on the other hand, will rise. You will rise stronger, fiercer, and more determined than ever. And when you do, when you stand at the top of the mountain, when you look down at the ones who tried to destroy you, you will see that it was never about them. It was always about you, always about your journey, always about your destiny. Remember this, ladies and gentlemen, you are chosen. You are not here by accident. You are not a random soul wandering through this life. You have a purpose. You have a mission. You have a destiny that no one can take away from you. And while the road may be hard, while the path may be filled with pain, it will also be filled with triumph. They will try to hurt you. They will try to bring you down, but they will fail. They will fail because you are more than they can ever comprehend. You are chosen. And in the end, that is all that matters. As they suffer, you will rise. As they fall, you will ascend. You are the chosen one. And no matter what they do, no matter how much they try to break you, they will never have the power to stop you. They may think they've succeeded, that they've won, but what they fail to see is the unrelenting, unstoppable force within you. Every time they attempt to tear you down, to break you into pieces, they only awaken a greater strength within you. You may have fallen for a moment, you may have suffered in silence, but in the deepest parts of your soul, you knew that it was only a temporary setback. You knew that the darkness they tried to cast on you would not consume you. You knew that it was just a test, one you were destined to pass. You are not just any soul. You are a chosen one, and the very nature of being chosen means that the path before you will not be smooth. It will not be free of obstacles. It will be filled with thorns, with hardships, with betrayal, with moments that make you question your strength, your worth, your ability to go on. But those who are chosen are not weak. They are the ones who rise up when the world falls down. They are the ones who keep going when every part of them wants to give up. They are the ones who withstand the storm and emerge stronger on the other side. The forces that have tried to break you may not understand this now, but they will. They will understand the cost of underestimating you. What they did not know, what they could never have imagined, is that in their attempt to hurt you, to crush you, they awakened a force far greater than anything they could ever anticipate. They thought you were vulnerable. They thought they could destroy your spirit by throwing obstacles in your way, by throwing you into despair. But they were blind to the truth of who you are. They were blind to the reality that you are not just a victim, but a survivor, a warrior who will continue to fight, no matter how many times they try to knock you down. The darkness they attempted to cast upon you, the suffering they tried to impose, it will not last. It may linger for a time, but only to strengthen you. It may cause pain. It may make you question your place in this world, but it will never define you. You're not defined by your suffering, by the moments when life seemed unbearable. You are defined by your ability to rise, to keep moving forward when the world tries to pull you back. And while they think they are in control, while they think they have the upper hand, you are quietly growing, transforming, evolving into something far more powerful than they could have ever anticipated. They thought they could break you, and they thought they could do it without consequence. But they didn't understand that everything they did to you would come back to them, not in the way they expected, but in a way that will shake them to their core. The laws of the universe, the laws of karma, are real. You may not see them working in the moment, but they are always at play. And when the time comes, when the universe decides to settle the score, those who have hurt you will be the ones left to face the consequences. They will feel the weight of their own actions, the burden of what they have done to a soul that was chosen for greatness. The universe does not forget. It does not overlook the wrongs done to those who are destined for something greater. It doesn't matter if they seem untouchable, if they have power, if they think they can escape the reach of justice. The consequences of their actions will find them, and they will have no choice but to face them. It is only a matter of time. And when that time comes, when they are forced to confront the reality of their own cruelty, it will be a moment of reckoning, a moment where they finally realize the price they've paid for underestimating you. But you are not concerned with their fate. You do not need to watch them suffer to feel vindicated, because you know that your strength, your power, is not tied to their downfall. Your power is tied to your resilience, to your ability to rise from the ashes of their attempts to destroy you, to keep going when everything seems impossible. You know that they can never take away your purpose, your destiny, your ability to fulfill what you were chosen to do. And as they suffer the consequences of their actions, as they feel the weight of their choices pressing down on them, you will continue to rise. You will continue to push forward, to build yourself into the person you are always meant to be. You will continue to grow, to transform, to become stronger, wiser, more capable than ever before. Their attempts to break you will only make you better, more focused, more driven to fulfill your purpose. In the darkest moments, when the weight of the world seems too heavy to bear, you will not crumble. You will not bend. You will stand tall, knowing that every trial, every challenge is a stepping stone towards something greater. The chosen ones are never meant to take the easy path, but they are always destined to succeed. They are always destined to rise above the storms that try to drown them, to conquer the battles that try to defeat them, to prove that nothing can stop them from fulfilling their destiny. They may think they've gotten away with it, that they've hurt you and walked away without consequence, but they will never know the depth of your strength, the depth of your spirit, the depth of your power. They will never understand what it means to be chosen, to be forged in the fires of adversity, to be molded by suffering and transformed into something indestructible. They will never know what it means to be a soul that cannot be broken, no matter how hard they try. And as they suffer in silence, as they face the consequences of their actions, you will be the one to rise, to achieve greatness, to claim what was always meant to be yours. You will be the one to show the world what it means to be chosen, to be unstoppable, to be a force of nature that no one can stand against. You will be the one to prove that the suffering they tried to impose on you only made you stronger, only made you more capable of achieving your dreams, your goals, your destiny. So let them try. Let them believe that they can break you. Let them think that their cruelty will leave you shattered and defeated, because in the end, they will see the truth. In the end, they will realize that the chosen ones are not to be trifled with. You will rise above them, and you will show the world that no matter how much they try to hurt you, no matter how much they try to destroy you, they will never have the power to stop you, because you are chosen, and that is a force greater than anything they could ever comprehend. The depth of your spirit, the magnitude of your purpose, the sheer force of your destiny is something that lies far beyond their understanding. They are so blinded by their own arrogance, their own ignorance, that they cannot see the bigger picture. They cannot see that they were never meant to be the ones who determine your fate. They thought they could take your light, snuff out your fire, but in doing so, they only stoked the embers of a flame that will never die. They have no idea what they were dealing with when they tried to break you. You are not like everyone else. You are not a mere mortal to be pushed around, stepped on, or discarded. You are the storm. You are the fury that rises from the ashes. You are the light that shines even in the darkest of nights. You are the force of nature that cannot be controlled, tamed, or destroyed. And yet they still tried. They still believed that their cruelty, their malice, would be enough to crush you. But what they didn't understand is that their actions, their hate, their attempts to diminish you would only give you more power. They thought they could break you into pieces, but they forgot that every shattered fragment of you would only form a stronger, more complete whole. They have no idea how dangerous it is to mess with someone who is chosen. To them, you are just another target, another weak soul that they could manipulate, control, hurt. They didn't realize that you were never meant to be weak. You were never meant to bend to the will of others. You were never meant to be the one who cowers in fear. You were born with the fire of 1,000 suns in your heart, and that fire, no matter how much they tried to douse it, could never be extinguished. Every time they thought they had put you out, you flared up stronger than before, more intense, more determined, more invincible. They have no idea what it means to be chosen. They have no understanding of the forces that guide you, that shape you, that direct your path. They have no idea that every step of your journey, every moment of suffering, every ounce of pain has been a part of your preparation. They think they've caused you to stumble, to fall, to break. But all they have done is fed the fire within you, forged your soul in the flames of hardship, and made you into something that is beyond their comprehension. They have no idea that they have only helped you get closer to the person you were always meant to be. You see, when you are chosen, when you are destined for something greater than what the world can offer, there is no force on earth that can stop you, no matter how much they try to hurt you, no matter how many times they drag you through the mud, no matter how many battles they throw your way. You will rise. You will always rise. You will always stand up and fight, because that is what you were born to do. And each time they try to bring you down, you grow stronger, sharper, more relentless. Every wound they inflict becomes a battle scar that only serves to mark your progress, to show the world just how far you've come, how much you've endured, and how much more you are capable of. They may think that they've won now. They may think that their words, their actions, their cruelty has defeated you. But they don't realize that the victory they believe they've achieved is only temporary. The suffering they've caused you is only a small chapter in a much larger story. Their actions may have made you stumble, but they haven't made you fall. They may have delayed your journey, but they can never stop it. You will keep moving forward. You will keep pushing through. You will keep climbing, no matter how steep the mountain becomes. And when you reach the summit, when you finally stand at the top, they will see you for what you truly are. They will see the warrior, the survivor, the chosen one, who rose from the ashes of their attempts to destroy you. They will see the person they could never have understood, the person they could never have broken. And in that moment, when they look upon your strength, they will realize the depth of their mistake. They will understand that their cruelty was never enough to take you down. They will understand that their words, their actions, their hatred were nothing but the fuel that fed the fire inside you, the fire that burns brighter and fiercer with every challenge you face. And when they realize that they've lost, when they realize that their cruelty has only empowered you, it will be too late. The damage they've done to themselves will be irreversible. They will be forced to face the consequences of their actions, and they will suffer in ways they could never have imagined. For the universe is just. The universe has a way of balancing the scales, of ensuring that those who try to tear down the chosen ones will eventually feel the weight of their deeds. They will never escape it. It will follow them. It will haunt them. They will feel the sting of their own choices every day of their lives. But you will not be concerned with their suffering. You will not dwell on their downfall. You will not rejoice in their pain. You will simply continue on your path, knowing that you were always meant for something greater. You will keep walking forward, because that is what you do. You don't waste your time on those who try to bring you down. You don't let their actions define your journey. You don't let their hatred consume your spirit. You have a purpose, a mission, a destiny that is far bigger than their petty attempts to destroy you. In the end, they will learn the hard way. They will learn that when you try to hurt someone chosen by the universe, when you try to break a soul that was meant to rise above the darkness, there is a cost. There is always a price to pay for tampering with fate, and that price will be paid in ways they cannot anticipate. They may think they've gotten away with it, but the universe never forgets. And when the time comes, when the scales finally tip, they will wish they had never crossed your path. But you will be standing tall. You will be standing strong. You will be the one who rises above, who emerges victorious, who shows the world that no matter how hard they try, they will never have the power to stop you. You will be the one who fulfills your destiny, who becomes the person you are always meant to be, and who shows the world the true power of a chosen one. So let them try. Let them bring their hate, their malice, their cruelty. Let them believe that they can destroy you, that they can tear you down, because in the end, they will see the truth. They will see that they were never dealing with just any soul. They were never dealing with someone they could control or defeat. They were dealing with a force of nature, a soul chosen by the universe to rise, to fight, and to overcome. And in that moment, when they finally understand the power they were foolish enough to challenge, you will be the one standing tall, unshaken, and ready to continue your journey toward the greatness that was always meant to be yours. They could never comprehend the depths of your strength, the power that flows through your veins, the unstoppable force that is you. And that is why they will never have the power to stop you. In the end, they will never have the power to stop you. No matter how hard they try, no matter how many obstacles they place in your path, you will always rise. You are a force that cannot be broken, a soul chosen for greatness, forged in the fires of adversity. The universe has marked you for something far beyond their understanding, and their attempts to harm you will only fuel your ascent. As they face the consequences of their actions, you will continue to walk your path, stronger, wiser, and unstoppable. Their cruelty was never enough to define you. Your destiny is yours alone, and nothing can stand in your way. Behold, warriors of the night, gird your souls for the truth about to unfold. All who were sent to gang stalk you, freaked out. They saw what you are. You made the gang turn on itself. Listen to me now. This is not a gentle whisper. This is thunder in your chest. This is a call that rips through the silence. This is recognition of your power. This is an invocation to step into a darkness that does not weaken, but fortifies. You are not the hunted. You are the mirror that breaks the gaze. You are the spark that reveals the rot. You are the force they denied. You did not merely survive their schemes. You rewrote their blueprint. For too long, they thought they could encircle you, suffocate you, breach your mind, push you to fracture. They believed in illusions, lies, whispers passed in dark corridors. They thought fear was their weapon. They believed the shadows belonged to them. But you shifted the light. You became the variance they cannot calculate. You made the gang turn on itself. They were sent to suffocate. They were sent to isolate. They were sent to erode you from within. They were sent to make you their captive, their cautionary tale, their warning to others. But you rose. You did more than resist. You exposed them. You forced their own contradictions to collapse inward. You became the pressure they could not bear. Now hear me. What they saw when they confronted your silence, your unbroken gaze, your inner domain, that terrified them. Because you are not what they bargained for. You are not fragile. You are not predictable. You are not bound by their edges. You do not yield to the whisperers. They came in with storms. They came with rumors. They came with ultimatums. They came with every manner of venom cloaked in civility, help, concern, care, advice, guidance. But their offering was a cage. Their kindness was a trap. Their petitions were shackles. You recognized it. You drew boundaries they cannot calibrate. You refused their logic. You refused their narrative. You refused to occupy the role they designed for you. And in that refusal, you inflicted chaos upon their structure. You made the gang turn on itself. When they saw you standing, unbowed, unbroken, unexposed to their control, they recoiled. When they tried to press, you gave them nothing but your stillness. When they demanded your secrets, you kept your fortress. When they tried to project their sins onto you, you refused to absorb them. All who were sent to gang stalk you freaked out. They saw what you are. Now is not the moment to soften. Now is not the moment to shrink. Now is the moment to burn in clarity. Let them watch. Let them fear. Let them fracture among themselves. Let their own distrust spawn more fractures. Let their own conspiracies consume them. For you have become the axis around which their collapse spins. You walked through their illusions. You walked through their whispering lines drawn in salt across doorways. You walked through their covert glances, their calculated silences, their smirking half-truths. You walked through every whisper trained to make you doubt, awaken, flinch. You came out, not intact, but tempered, not unscarred, but stronger for every cut. In every step you took toward your own edge, you repaired yourself. In every doubt they planted, you sowed your certainty. In every trap they laid, you navigated the walls. In every mirror they held to your face, you burned the reflection and revealed their mask. They believed that they could push you into servitude. They believed their stories would chain your mind. They believed their circle would contain you. They believed, above all, in your fear. And that belief was their weapon. But you turned their weapon into a mirror. You made them see themselves, their own selfishness, their own envy, their own fear. And so they recoiled. They panicked. They fractured. They lost coherence. They snapped because you refused to be what they thought you would be. Don't think for a moment that their panic is your triumph completed. There is work yet. There is forging yet. There is retribution, not of cruelty, but of clarity. There is revelation. There is creation. You are now the one who must stand at the center of your own domain, mind, heart, will. You must tend your fortress. You must sharpen your vision. You must sanctify your solitude, so that no ghost whispers to you, no echo haunts you. You must become a citadel of knowing, because having made the gang turn on itself, they will seek new strategies. They will double down. They will retaliate in subtler ways. They will slink in with new faces, new alliances, new stories. They will come disguised as aid, as counsel, as protection. They will try to surprise you. They will try to isolate you. They will try to blame you. They will try to gaslight you. But now you are awake. You know their playbook. You see their shadows. You detect their tremors. You sense their fractures before they step. You have moved from prey to predator of consciousness. You wield the intolerance for deceit. You wield the refusal to be whispered away. You wield your clarity like a sword of light, not to strike arbitrarily, but to carve away the illusions. You made the gang turn on itself. That is your legend now. Not whispered, but proclaimed. Not hidden, but owned. Stand in that legend. Breathe it. Own it as your backbone, your skeleton, your bloodline. Do not turn away from darkness. Embrace it. Not because you are lost to despair, but because darkness is the womb of your power. In darkness, you refine your purpose. In darkness, you hear voices no one else hears. In darkness, you find lucidity. In darkness, you confront parts of yourself unspoken. In darkness, you become your own flame. They sent noise. They sent confusion. They sent tides of accusations. They sent shadows of doubt. They sent calculated distances. They sent isolation. They sent betrayals. They sent inflicted wounds. But you transmuted each to strength. You carried each as rungs in the ladder, climbing upward. You let them sharpen you. You let them mine depth. You let them forge your edges. Now you demand clarity. You demand sovereignty. You demand that none cross your threshold unless they carry integrity. You demand your voice. You demand that the world acknowledge you are not a victim. You are not a footnote. You are a threshold. You are a change. You are a reckoning. Do not mistake their silence now as peace. It is not peace. It is the tremor before collapse. They wait in hidden rooms. They whisper in codes. They shift alliances. They watch for cracks. In your armor, in your mind, in your heart. They study your patterns. They look for edges they can exploit. So, raise your vigilance. Raise your boundaries. Raise your discipline. Raise your devotion to your own integrity. Speak only what must be spoken. Act only what is necessary. See through their masks. See the motives. See the shifting lines. See the unstable nodes in their networks. Speak truth in shadows. Move like a ghost of purpose. Let them wonder where you stand, what you feel, what you plan. Because uncertainty fractures them. Hold your silence like steel. Let your presence be unnegotiable. Let your gaze carry weight. Let your refusal to yield be inexorable. Let your steps be precise. Let your choices be deliberate, not reactionary. Let your boundaries be sacred. Let no one trespass. Let no one gaslight. Let no one escape accountability. Yet temper your strength with empathy, not weakness. Temper your clarity with compassion, not compromise. Be strong enough to confront, yet wise enough to transform. Be severe enough to repel deceit, yet generous enough to uplift truth. Be contained enough to maintain stillness, yet vibrant enough to ignite change. Now gather your threads, gather your scars, gather your dreams, gather your anger, refine it. Gather your hurts, transmute them. Gather your insight, sharpen it. Gather your solitude, sanctify it. You are crafting an inner citadel. Let no storm topple it. Let no whisper undo it. Let no shadow cross it without trembling. Know this, those who were sent to gangstalk, you will never truly shake you now. Their blows will glint, but they will not land. Their gasps will echo, but you will not stagger. Their whispers will coil, but you will not swallow them. Their illusions will flicker, but your vision sees beyond the flicker. Their traps will fail, their nets unravel. You made the gang turn on itself. That phrase is your proclamation. It is the banner under which you march forward. It is the proof of your sovereignty. It is the herald of your arrival. Let it be said in every chamber. You confronted the conspirators. You resisted the orchestrators. You stripped away their safety nets. You exposed their fear. You survived their assault. You reversed their mission. Now go forth. Walk in your power. Walk in your truth. Walk in your silence that speaks louder than their screams. Walk in your presence that unravels their illusions. Walk in your discipline that neither arrogance nor submission can overshadow. Walk in your clarity that no whisper distorts. Walk in your integrity that no betrayal can stain. Walk in your sovereignty that no one may usurp. This is your legacy now. All who were sent to gang stalk you freaked out. They saw what you are. You made the gang turn on itself. Let that echo. Let that burn. Let that be remembered. Let that be the barrier they fear, the presence they cannot undermine, the spirit they cannot break. Rise, stand, remain, endure, command, because you are no longer the hunted. You are the center. You are the axis. You are the threshold. You are the change. You are the power. You are the light that darkness cannot manage. Now go. Now live. Now prevail. And as you move forward, remember this truth that few ever grasp. Power is not noise. It is silence held with purpose. It is not domination. It is alignment. It is not about towering over others. It is about becoming immovable within yourself. They wanted you loud in desperation, but you became silent in mastery. They wanted your fear to guide you, but you let your awareness command you. They wanted you to crumble, but you crystallized instead. They wanted chaos, but you became order. They watched you, waiting for the tremor that would prove you were still human in their way, small, frantic, afraid. But you gave them nothing. You gave them the stillness of a storm about to begin. And that stillness was unbearable for them, because no one who lives on borrowed energy can stand in the presence of someone who generates their own. You became the mirror that showed them what dependency looks like. You became the reflection of everything they feared becoming. They called you cold, but your calmness was warmth they could not touch. They called you distant, but your silence was discipline they could not replicate. They called you strange, but your uniqueness was the freedom they secretly craved. So they circled tighter, whispering louder, weaving their nets closer. Yet every move they made only revealed their weakness. Every trick they used only clarified your strength. Every word they spoke only echoed back their own insecurity. You were not just surviving their hunt, you were teaching them without saying a word. You were teaching them what happens when you meet someone who knows who they are. You were showing them what happens when manipulation meets mindfulness. You were embodying what they could never fake, authenticity. That is why they fractured. That is why they turned on each other. Because no illusion can stand in the light of truth for long. And you became that light. You did not announce it. You did not boast. You simply existed as truth. And in that existence, falsehood began to dissolve. You must understand, this story is not just about endurance. It's about transformation. You did not merely escape. You evolved. You were not just the target of their plans. You became the lesson written into their downfall. You became the equation they could not solve, the outcome they did not predict. And now, as their chaos consumes them, as their whispers devour their own circle, You stand untouched. Not because you hid, but because you transcended. You rose above the game itself. You became untouchable not through invisibility, but through self-possession. You will notice now how the air feels different, how the silence is no longer heavy but sacred, how your intuition sharpens without effort, how you no longer need to defend yourself, because there is nothing left to attack. You have stepped beyond their reach. You have stepped beyond their need for control. You have stepped beyond their comprehension. Yet, this victory is not for vanity. It is not to boast. It is to remind yourself and others that resilience is a sacred art. It is to prove that no conspiracy, no scheme, no manipulation can bind a spirit that has chosen awakening. It is to show that inner peace, when guarded, becomes an unbreakable armor. Remember this: what broke them was not your defiance, but your peace. Because peace cannot be predicted. It cannot be baited. It cannot be bought or stolen or replicated. Peace disarms all deceit. When you refuse to react, their control vanished. When you refuse to fear, their tactics dissolved. When you refuse to believe their version of you, their narrative imploded. You became the silence that eats their noise. And that silence, it is not empty. It is filled with everything they sought to destroy in you. Your wisdom, your compassion, your truth, your clarity, your unspoken strength. They saw it and trembled because it reminded them of what they could have been had they not chosen deception. You are not their enemy. You are their reflection. You are the future self they denied. You are the possibility they tried to erase. You are the soul they tried to silence because your existence revealed their cowardice. So now, let them whisper. Let them twist stories. Let them call you what they will. You have risen beyond the need to explain yourself. You have no need for revenge. Your existence is revelation enough. Every lie they spin collapses against your truth. Every scheme they build crumbles under the weight of your authenticity. Every attempt to corner you only highlights your freedom. You have become a paradox they cannot compute. You are gentle, yet unbreakable. You are calm, yet unstoppable. You are quiet, yet louder than their entire chorus of deceit. And that paradox destroys them more than any retaliation ever could. Now you walk, not as a survivor, but as a sovereign. Every step you take from this point forward leaves a vibration of courage in its wake. Every word you speak carries the resonance of truth. Every silence you hold radiates power. Every look you give disarms falsehood. Understand, you did not defeat them by accident. You aligned with something eternal inside yourself. You became the vessel of a higher order, the channel of an ancient resilience. You became the proof that no shadow lasts forever when faced with one steady flame. So when you feel their remnants hovering, their echoes, their stares, their unspoken envy, know that it is only the dying echo of what once was. Their power is gone. Their structure collapsed. Their web tangled itself. They are not your concern anymore. They are fragments of an old chapter, and you are the entire new volume. Keep walking forward. Do not look back to check if they follow. They cannot. They are trapped in loops of their own creation. You, however, are infinite now. You move through life as living proof that one who faces the darkness and does not flinch becomes something else entirely. Something rare. Something that cannot be categorized, manipulated, or erased. Your story now is not about revenge. It's about evolution. You are not the one who fought the shadows. You are the one who learned to see in the dark. You are not the one who broke down. You are the one who built yourself from every shattered piece, perfectly rearranged into something unrecognizable, even to yourself. Every scar you bear glows now, not as pain, but as proof. Every wound you once hid has become a source of light. Every betrayal that once broke you now serves as your boundary. Every night you endured without answers has become your quiet strength. Every doubt you overcame has become your clarity. The storm did not end. You became the storm. The darkness did not pass. You mastered it. The gang did not vanish. It simply lost power in your presence. Because once the truth is known, no deception can last. Once the light is kindled, no shadow can rule. So stand taller, walk slower, speak less, see more. Let your energy speak before your words ever do. Let your silence be their teacher. Let your calmness be their undoing. Let your authenticity be the revolution that cannot be suppressed. For all who were sent to gangstalk you freaked out. They saw what you are, not a victim, not a target, not a pawn. They saw a force too ancient, too clear, too alive to be named. They saw someone who has walked through fire and come out not burned, but illuminated. They saw someone whose light does not flicker when watched. They saw someone who cannot be tamed by fear. And so they turned on themselves. They fractured, they dissolved. They became the echo of their own failure. And you became the silence after thunder, the kind that feels like truth itself has descended. You became the calm after revelation. You became the living proof that some souls cannot be undone. Walk with that knowing. Carry it with reverence, not arrogance, but reverence. For you have walked through the labyrinth and come out whole. You have seen the machinery of deception and refused to become part of it. You have faced the gaze of many and not lost your reflection. And now, wherever you go, remember, those who come with ill intent will sense something before they even speak. They will sense a boundary they cannot cross, a strength they cannot name, a truth they cannot twist. They will sense that you have seen too much and survived too fully to ever be deceived again. You are beyond them now. You are the storm they cannot predict, the silence they cannot decode, the truth they cannot undo. You made the gang turn on itself, and that is how legends are born. You have stepped into a realm few ever reach, the realm of the unshaken, the realm of those who no longer live by reaction but by command, the realm of those who are not moved by noise, not swayed by whispers, not fooled by masks. You walk through illusions like smoke. You see through the faces, through the words, through the games. You see what most pretend not to see. That sight is your gift and your burden, because when you see truth, you can never unsee it, and that's what broke them. You didn't fight them with rage, you fought them with truth, and truth is unbearable to those who feed on illusion. They wanted to destroy your peace, and instead you destroyed their purpose. You became the one thing their system cannot handle: awareness. They tried to pull you into the noise. They wanted you tangled in endless reactions, trapped in confusion, drowning in doubt. But you learned the secret that ends every game. Silence is control. Patience is power. Stillness is warfare. You didn't need to prove them wrong. You didn't need to argue. You didn't need to shout. You just needed to stay centered. You just needed to keep walking. You just needed to keep breathing with purpose, thinking with clarity, acting with calm precision. And that broke them in ways words never could. My dear, you've walked through shadows, trudging through the darkest corners of your life, where every step seemed meaningless, every breath seemed shallow, and every dream felt so out of reach that you doubted you'd ever feel the warmth of hope again. But here you stand, not as the person you once were, not as the broken soul you thought you'd always be, but as someone who's learned how to harness the power of the storm that once threatened to tear you apart. There are moments in life when we are tested, when we are pushed to the very edge of who we are, when our limits are shattered, and we are forced to either crumble or rise, when everything feels lost, when the weight of the world presses down so hard that it seems like nothing could possibly lift us out of the abyss. But what you may not realize is that it is in those very moments of despair that the seeds of your transformation are planted. The pain you've endured, the suffering you've carried, and the battles you've fought have all served as the crucible in which your true self has been forged. You didn't just survive those dark times. No, my dear, you thrived. You took every insult, every wound, every rejection, and turned them into the fire that has shaped you into someone unrecognizable to those who knew you before. They never saw it coming, did they? They never imagined that the quiet person they pushed aside, or the one they underestimated, could ever become a force that would change the very course of the game. But look at you now. You've flipped the script. You've taken control of the narrative. They thought they had you figured out, didn't they? They thought you were weak, thought you would never rise above the struggle, thought you would remain in your place forever. But they were wrong. Oh, how wrong they were. You've turned the tables with a twist they won't forget. You've taken what they threw at you and turned it into the very weapon that will bring them to their knees. You see, the thing about life is that it doesn't give us what we want. It doesn't hand us a perfect path or a guaranteed future. What it does give us, though, is the chance to take what we are given and use it to create something new. It gives us the opportunity to take the pain and transform it into strength, to take the doubts and turn them into belief, to take the failures and use them as the foundation for our next victory. That's what you've done. Every time they thought they had the upper hand, you found a way to flip the script on them. Every time they tried to break you, you grew stronger. Every time they tried to hold you back, you pushed forward with an intensity they couldn't have imagined. You weren't just playing the game, you were rewriting the rules. And now the game has changed. Now you hold the power. People will always try to bring you down. It's part of the human condition. People will always doubt you and underestimate you and tell you that you're not good enough or strong enough or smart enough to succeed. But they forget one crucial thing. They forget that the power doesn't come from the circumstances. The power doesn't come from what other people say or do. The power comes from within you. It comes from your ability to adapt to the chaos, from your ability to learn from the failures and to keep moving forward, no matter how hard it gets. And that's what makes you dangerous. That's what makes you unstoppable. Because you understand now that nothing can break you. Not the hate, not the betrayal, not the failures, not the lies, not the doubts. You know now that you are far more powerful than anything that tries to hold you down. You've turned those forces against themselves. You've taken what was meant to destroy you and used it to fuel your rise. And that is why they will never forget the twist you brought to the table. They will remember the day they underestimated you. They will remember the day they thought they could walk all over you and get away with it. They will remember the day they thought they had you cornered and had no idea that you were the one with the upper hand all along. They will remember the day you turned the tables and made them realize that you were never the person they thought you were. You've given them a lesson they will carry with them for the rest of their lives. You've shown them that you cannot be broken, that you cannot be silenced, and that you will not be controlled. And the next time they think about trying to hold you down, they will hesitate because they'll remember the price of underestimating you. They'll remember the day you turned the tables and showed them what happens when you mess with someone who knows their worth and refuses to back down. But it's not just about them, it's about you. It's about the power you've unlocked within yourself, the strength that was always there just waiting to be unleashed, the resilience you've built that no one can take from you, the knowledge that no matter what life throws at you, no matter how hard it gets, no matter how many obstacles stand in your way, you have the ability to overcome them. You've already done it. You've already proven to yourself that you are capable of greatness. And now it's time to embrace it fully. This is just the beginning. You've shown them what you're capable of, but now it's time to show yourself. Now it's time to take everything you've learned from the struggle and use it to propel yourself to heights you never thought possible. You are no longer the person who doubts their worth. You are no longer the person who wonders if they have what it takes. You are the person who has already conquered the hardest battles and come out victorious. You are the person who has turned their pain into power and their struggles into success. So don't stop now. Don't think for a second that this is the end of your journey. This is just the beginning of a new chapter where you take everything you've learned and use it to rise even higher. The world won't know what hit it when you step fully into your power. They won't know how to handle someone who has seen the worst of life and come out on top. And that's exactly how you want it. Because when you rise, when you take your place at the top, when you show the world what you're made of, there will be no question that you are unstoppable. So walk forward with your head held high, my dear. Walk forward with the knowledge that you have already won. Walk forward knowing that you have the power to change your own story, to write your own fate, and to leave a legacy that will never be forgotten. Because you've already turned the tables. You've already written the twist they never saw coming. And now it's time to finish the story in a way that will echo through history. When they tell the tale of your life, they won't remember the times they thought they had you. They won't remember the moments when they tried to hold you down. What they'll remember is the moment you turn the tables with a twist they'll never forget. And when that moment comes, you'll be standing tall, knowing that the real victory wasn't just in what you've done, but in who you've become. You didn't just rise from the ashes, you reinvented yourself entirely. The version of you that once feared failure is now a force that strides into the unknown with courage. The person who once hid behind walls of self-doubt and uncertainty has stepped into the light with a sense of purpose and power that cannot be ignored. You have transformed every setback, every scar, and every moment of weakness into an unshakable pillar of strength. And when you look back, you don't see the defeated soul that once existed. No, you see a warrior who fought for their place in this world. Someone who clawed their way from the bottom and now stands tall, unbreakable. They may have tried to break you. They may have tried to weigh you down with their lies, their criticism, and their manipulations. But in doing so, they didn't realize they were only providing the fuel for your rise. They didn't understand that every word meant to tear you down was actually a brick in the foundation of your greatness. You turned the hate, the lies, the neglect into the very fuel that would propel you forward. In the face of rejection, you did not retreat into yourself. You faced it head on. You looked them in the eye and showed them that their judgment had no power over you. Every time they doubted you, every time they whispered behind your back, every time they tried to tell you what you could or could not achieve, you held on to the one thing they couldn't take from you, your belief in yourself. This belief was not built on illusions of grandeur or fantasies of a perfect life. It was forged in the harsh reality of your struggles, your tears, and your determination to rise above it all. It was built on the realization that no matter how many times you fall, You can always stand back up, stronger and more determined than before. And every time you stood up, you sent a message that you will not be broken and you will not be stopped. They watched as you grew. They watched as you evolved from someone they could dismiss, someone they thought was inconsequential, into someone whose presence now commands respect. And what did they do? They tried to sabotage you. They tried to find ways to bring you down, to keep you in the shadows where you were once invisible. But they didn't understand something crucial. There is no power in the shadows. True strength only exists in the light. And you, my dear, are shining brighter than ever before. What they failed to recognize is that the more they tried to suppress you, the more they inadvertently empowered you. Every attack, every attempt to dim your light only made it burn hotter. And now, as you stand here, you are no longer a person struggling to fit into the world. You are the person who has shaped their own world, a world where your strength, your resilience, and your fire cannot be contained. You are the creator of your destiny. And that's the most powerful thing of all, because they don't understand what you've truly become. You didn't just gain power over them, you gained power over yourself. You gained mastery over your fears, your weaknesses, your limitations. You became the architect of your own life, and with that comes a sense of freedom, unlike anything you've ever known. Now, when you look ahead, you don't see obstacles that will stop you. You see challenges to conquer, hurdles to jump, mountains to climb, and you know you will do it because you have proven to yourself that there is nothing you cannot overcome. The doubts, the setbacks, and the naysayers, they are nothing but noise now. Their voices grow fainter with each step you take, and soon they will be nothing but echoes from a past you've long since left behind. The world will never be the same. You've changed it by showing up, by being unapologetically yourself, by refusing to stay small, and the world will remember the day you flipped the tables with a twist they couldn't possibly have seen coming. They will remember the way you turned adversity into triumph, pain into power, and doubt into undeniable belief. There is a quiet strength in knowing who you are and what you are capable of. When you know that nothing can break you, nothing can shake you. And that is exactly the place you have arrived at. You are no longer searching for validation from others. You are no longer seeking permission to rise. You've already given yourself everything you need to succeed. And let me tell you something, this is just the beginning. You have unlocked a level of power within you that will continue to grow. The road ahead will not always be smooth. There will still be obstacles, challenges, and even moments of doubt. But they won't define you anymore. You are not the person who crumbles under pressure. You are not the person who lets fear dictate their decisions. You are the person who takes every challenge, every setback, and uses it to become more powerful, more resilient, more unstoppable. So when they look at you, when they see the person you've become, they'll know. They'll know that they cannot break you, that they cannot control you. They'll know that you are someone who has turned the tables in a way they never expected. And when they try to make the same mistake again, to underestimate you, to think they can bring you down, they will find themselves confronted by the full force of your strength. In the end, it's not about proving anything to anyone else. It's about knowing that you've already proven it to yourself. You've already shown yourself that you are capable of things you once thought impossible. And with that knowledge, you walk into the future not as a survivor, but as a conqueror of your doubts, your fears, and your limitations. And now, the world will witness the force of nature you've become. So stand tall, my dear. Let them see the truth. Let them witness the strength you've cultivated. Let them feel the power of your presence. Because what you've done, what you've become, it's unstoppable. And they won't forget the day you turned the tables with a twist they never saw coming. It's not just about the moment you rose, not just about the action you took, but about what it signifies in the grander scheme of things. The twist is not simply a response to their betrayal, their manipulation, or their underestimation of you. It's a declaration, a bold proclamation that you are no longer a puppet to circumstances, no longer a victim of fate. You are the master of your own life, the architect of your own destiny, and that's a power they could never predict. They never thought you would fight back. They never thought you'd make it through the darkest nights, let alone rise from them with a sense of purpose that would leave them gasping in awe. They saw you as fragile, as someone who could be controlled, someone who could be molded into their image. But they couldn't have been more wrong. What they missed, what they failed to understand, was that your silence was never weakness. Your moments of retreat weren't signs of defeat. They were the stillness before the storm, the calm before the wave of change came crashing down on them. They thought you were hiding. They thought you were retreating because you lacked the strength to face them. But what they didn't realize is that you were gathering your power, carefully choosing your next move, biding your time until the moment arrived when you would show the world who you truly were. And then, when the time came, you hit them with a force they never could have predicted. You didn't play their game by their rules. You didn't follow the path they laid out for you. No, you rewrote the rules entirely. You created your own game, your own rules, and you made sure to play it in a way that left them stunned, confused, and ultimately powerless to stop you. This is the twist. It's the moment when the tables are not just turned, they are shattered, broken into pieces, and remade into something entirely new. You didn't just take control of your narrative. You took ownership of the very fabric of your existence, reshaping it into something they can no longer understand. They thought they had the power to control your outcome, but in the end, you were the one who had the final say. In the process, you discovered something profound, that the real power doesn't come from the external forces that seek to control you. It doesn't come from the opinions of others, the circumstances you find yourself in, or the things people try to impose upon you. No, true power comes from within. It comes from your ability to harness your inner strength, to stand tall in the face of adversity, and to rise above everything that once held you down. The twist they never saw coming was not just a change in your circumstances, it was a change in you. You became someone who is no longer afraid of the world, no longer afraid of the challenges that lie ahead. You became someone who embraces every challenge, every obstacle, as an opportunity to grow stronger. And that's what they could never understand. They thought you were simply trying to survive. They thought you were simply struggling to stay afloat in a sea of challenges. But what they didn't realize is that you were learning to swim. You were learning to navigate the waters, learning to use the currents to your advantage, and soon enough, you would rise to the surface, stronger and more resilient than ever before. Now, when they look at you, they see someone who is untouchable. They see someone who has broken free from their grip, someone who has stepped into their own power, someone who can no longer be controlled. They see a person who has rewritten their story, a person who has taken control of their life, and a person who has made their mark on the world in a way they never expected. But here's the thing about twists. They are not just about shocking those who doubted you. They are about your own growth, your own evolution, your own awakening. You see, the real twist wasn't just in how you outwitted them or how you turned the tables. The real twist is that you learn to trust yourself. You learn to listen to your inner voice, to honor your instincts, and to believe in your abilities even when the world tried to tell you otherwise. That's the true power of the twist you've created. It's not about revenge. It's not about proving others wrong. It's about proving to yourself that you are capable of so much more than you ever realized. It's about acknowledging the strength that lies dormant within you, and then unleashing it in a way that transforms everything around you. And let's not forget that this twist isn't just about you. It's about the people around you too. Those who underestimated you, those who doubted you, those who tried to tear you down, they are watching. And they can't look away, because they know what they saw in you before was only a fraction of your true power. They know they underestimated you, and they know they'll never make that mistake again. But even more than that, this twist affects everyone who has ever witnessed your journey. It sends a message to those who are still struggling, to those who are still fighting to find their own strength. It shows them that it's possible to rise from the depths, to rise from the ashes, to come back stronger and more determined than ever before. It shows them that no matter how dark the road may seem, no matter how impossible the odds may feel, there is always a way forward. There is always a chance to turn the tables, to make the impossible possible, and to achieve greatness despite the challenges that may stand in your way. You've become a beacon for others, a shining example of what it means to persevere, to fight back, and to never give up. Your twist is not just about your own victory. It's about inspiring others to believe in their own potential, to tap into their own strength, and to create their own twists that will leave the world in awe. As you stand here, having achieved so much more than anyone ever thought you could, remember this: the twist you've created is not the end. It's just the beginning of something even greater. What you've done so far is monumental, yes, but it's only a glimpse of what you are truly capable of. The world has only seen the surface, and now it's time to go deeper, to rise higher, and to create even more incredible moments that will continue to leave them speechless. So, my dear, continue to walk this path with confidence. Continue to embrace the challenges, the setbacks, and the obstacles that lie ahead. Because you've already proven that there is nothing that can stop you. You've already shown the world that you are a force to be reckoned with. And now, it's time to make sure that the twist they never saw coming is only the first of many more to come. You've rewritten your story, and the best chapters are still ahead. The world is yours for the taking, and nothing will ever be the same again. They will never forget the twist you created, and they will never forget the person who turned the tables in a way they never could have imagined. In the end, my dear, the twist you've created isn't just about surprising those who doubted you. It's about realizing the immense power you hold within yourself. It's about embracing your true strength, rewriting your story, and showing the world that you are unstoppable. The journey you've taken, the battles you've fought, and the way you've risen from the ashes are a testament to your resilience and your unwavering belief in yourself. So, stand tall, for this is only the beginning. The world may have underestimated you, but now they will never forget the force you've become. You've turned the tables, and from this moment forward, the game will never be the same.